want to talk about how much whiskey I just got on my blazer.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us again for another installment of Weekly Whiskey After Hours. We have wrapped up on Tuesday. We had a really great stream earlier, super exciting. But here we are in the studio. We've stopped streaming. It's time to have a couple drinks and have some fun. John, how are you now? Thanks for joining me, man.
Very, very good, man. Looking forward into getting this bottle open.
Good. Well, before we talk bottle, I'm super pumped. You guys may not have noticed, but it feels different for me. I have been avoiding collared shirts for a long time because I work in software and I like to be comfortable. But as of tonight, I went ahead. I took a little shop to Von Mar. I got myself a nice collared shirt. So I'm here in Burberry suit and collared shirt. John, I'm sure you're pretty pleased about that because you've been on my ass for that for a long time.
Well, you know, every now and then you need a slight upgrade. And when you look like Butcher, like you do, you need to go ahead and, you know, fill out the rest of the wardrobe. Suit up the right way.
I honestly think once you brought up the Butcher from The Boys reference, like, I think I missed my casting call. Like, I think I was first in line, and I don't know, maybe I was like working or getting a sandwich or something. And so they passed me over and like, we'll get this other guy instead. But dead ringer.
If I had to guess, I would say it was a sandwich related incident.
Okay, we'll log that. Sandwich related incident. We had an SRI. We'll get through it, but we aren't here to talk about Butcher. We're here to talk about whiskey, and I am pumped for the whiskey we're talking about tonight, which comes from Heaven Hill. The ladies and gentlemen at Heaven Hill rolled out a very nice release in the form of a wheated bourbon known as Old Fitzgerald, and this is their 2019 release of the 15-year Old Fitzgerald line, which is a wheated bourbon, right? Yeah, it's wheated.
Yes, sir.
I am pumped for this one. The decanter series, at least in my opinion, started a little rough. Some of those 9 years were a little not tacky, but they had some spots. They had some character that I didn't love. But by the time we're getting to 2019, I think they've worked out a lot of kinks, and I'm looking forward to diving into this one.
Yeah, I've had some of the 9-year that I thought was okay for what it was, but man, for the price, like for something that looks as great as it does on the shelf, you really want it to kind of knock your socks off.
And especially for something that costs as much as it does too, right? Like these are not cheap.
No, especially like if you're going to try to get a pour of this out at a bar or a restaurant or something, you're going to be spending easily 30, 35 plus.
Definitely.
And when you start talking that range, you really want something to be pretty impressive, not something that's kind of a little thin, a little hot, not really carrying a ton of flavor. But we don't have to worry about that with this one, man, because geez, just on the nose is crazy.
Yeah, and this is worth pointing out too. Like we've seen the same thing, like even with Larceny Barrel Proof, right? Like started a little bit rough. Couple of releases later, totally dialed in. I'm seeing the same thing on the nose. I don't know. This is straight like maple pancakes to me. A little bit of cherry.
I can see that. There's definitely some fruit in there. It's pretty dark. It's hiding in there deep.
Like that kind of brown butter. I don't know if I'm ready to go full marzipan, but
I don't know. I like brown butter on that. That's right.
Brown butter, really caramely, really brown sugar, really savory, sweet. Like this is nice.
Yeah, good. Dark sweet profile, a little bit of sweet oak right up front.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you get that the pancakes make sense. I mean, it's a little bit of that like warm. You could even, maybe not quite French toast, but you could come close to something with that profile.
It reminds me of like warm pancakes. You put butter on, you put some maple syrup, a little bit of nutmeg, and then the cherry kind of stumps it. I just had to sip. Really mild on the palate, which impresses me. 50% ABV, really rich on the palate, but the heat isn't there. It's all about that brown sugar, faint cherry note.
Yeah, there is that light fruit coming through the back. Pops up. There is definitely a syrupy note right on the front of the palate. I want to say the tip of the tongue, the teeth, the lips, and caught you drinking. Yeah, that oak comes through a little bit just on the very end of the finish too, and it gives
really does
a nice little twist of cocoa in there.
Twist of cocoa. It's not deeply tannic. There is not a ton of oak, but it's really satisfying. Like it has nice structure to it. That char really lends. Like it's not too sweet, not too fruity. Like that brings it back. The viscosity is really nice. I have some here.
It's a 9-foot tall glass.
Dude, this is the coolest thing in the world. Like I'm. Glencairn, you're cool, but also all my Glencairns are dirty, so it tells you what you need to know.
I mean, you can't look anywhere near as fancy as you need to without a 17-foot
Yeah, I need to
glass pole to put your glass on.
Collared shirt. Now, just obscene glass. It needed to happen. This is the perfect pairing.
Yeah, I like everything about that.
But
there's almost like I'm getting like just a little touch of coffee there on the very end.
yeah, like the finish isn't dry and bitter, but it's like deep and savory and rich. Like there's that cocoa, there's some coffee, there's some fudge, there's some like reminds me of those like cherry cordial candies that are like cocoa on the outside, cherry on the inside.
Yeah.
Yum.
Yeah, overall, I mean, home run. I like this one a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Damn shame the bottle's getting low.
No kidding. So this was the 2019 release. I think the 2020 was a 14 year, which I did really like too.
They did the distillery only 16 year as well, but they skipped the 15 for this one.
With the red label, right?
Correct.
That was expensive, if I'm not mistaken. Like $300 expensive.
Yeah, I think it was like $280 at the distillery or $300. I mean, whatever it was crazy. Double the price of the 15, which I don't know if going one more year on that age statement quite changes it that much for me. But I mean, this is still, it's a bottle of the Bond product, so it's going to be 100 proof. It's not like they went cask strength. They did anything crazy with it.
Yeah, exactly, Henderson. Like, it's not like this is some hazmat monster that justifies double the price. But for 150 or under, I'm happy. I would pick up another one of these in a heartbeat. Yeah, I think.
Absolutely.
Like the state of whiskey is changing, obviously. Like that's a little expensive for what it would have been 10 years ago, 5 years ago.
Sure.
But this is fantastic. Like this is a profile I love. Like Heaven Hill Wheater at a good proof with some great age. I think it's showing really, really nicely.
Yeah, I think everything about this one just says buy on site.
Excellent. Well, thank you again, folks. The endorsement from us both is that this is a buy on site for sure. I love this. Henderson loves it too. Thank you again for joining us. This is a Thursday after hours, so join us next Tuesday. We have a great live episode for you. 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern at youtube.com/weeklywhiskey. If you're joining from another channel, well, you're way too late. You need to hop on over, subscribe to Weekly Whiskey. If you're not subscribed, please do. And thanks for joining us all. Cheers. I think that's all I got. I'm gonna go back to drinking this really nice wheater, my friend.
I wasn't sure if you're gonna be able to get that entire glass in the frame there.
It fits, like barely, but just barely.
Okay. Good enough for me.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.